नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वाहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बी ज़िदनी इल्मा अल्लाहुम्मा फ़क़्क़िहना फ़िद्दीन अल्लाहुम्मा इन्नी अस्अलुका इल्मन नाफ़िअ व अमलन मुतक़ब्बला व रिज़्क़न तय्यबा अल्लाहुम्मा अन्फ़अना बिमा अल्लमतना व अल्लिमना मा यनफ़अुना व ज़िदना इल्मा अल्लाहुम्मा इन्नी अऊज़ु बिका मिन इल्मिन ला यनफ़अु व मिन क़ल्बिन ला यख़शअउ व मिन नफ़्सिन ला तशबअु व मिन दअवतिन ला युस्तजाबु लहा. Today inshallah we will be doing ayat number 74 to 78 Surah alBaqarah. Mainly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the types of rocks in these ayat, and the background, the context about these ayat is generally what we've been observing from the style and attitudes of Bani Israel, the Yahud, and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in these ayat is that if you constantly keep this behavior, then it will eventually make your hearts harder. It will be very difficult for you to soften your heart and to accept things and to be able to grasp anything that will give you benefit. So this is kind of a warning to keep your heart in check, to see what your attitudes are. They will become your lifestyle, and then that will become your habit, and it will be very difficult to get out of this loop, and this is going to hurt your hereafter. It's going to hurt your akhirah. And when I go into the ayat, we will also see the meanings of each word, but just let me tell you that in these ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mention the three types of rocks. One will be the types of rocks which will make way for the water, the streams, which could be taken as the rocks that erode over time, erosion, or also the glaciers, which because of its weight of ice, it makes way and removes the rocks on its side. Another type of rock that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions is the types of rocks that split open and water comes out of it. And the third type of rock that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions are the kind who fall because of the fear of Allah. Those are, we could understand them as landslides. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is primarily is explaining to us the Yahud, Bani Israel, and my request to you would be to look at these ayat as how we can learn from this. Also, when you read these ayat, consider that we are studying the history of Yahud, plus also read them with the thinking how when these were being revealed on Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how the people around him, Muslims and non-Muslims, were perceiving these. So let's start. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Thumma, then, so after all this, qasat, qaf, sin, wa, hardened, qulubukum, your hearts. Qulubukum, root is qaf, lam, ba, heart. Min ba'di, after this, zalika. Min ba'di, after this, zalika, this. So when all this happened, it hardened your heart. All what? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed them the miracles, gave them blessings, had mercy on them, forgave them many times, still made things easier for them to, get the love of idol worshipping out of their hearts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did everything. And what was the result? They were back to their old lifestyle. They were back to whatever they found more convenient and more easy and more attracted to life in this world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, and this hardened your hearts. So here they became kal hijarati, ha jim ra, just like we say hajr aswad, the black stone. So hijara is the stone, just like the hearts. Or so just like stones, or what? Ashaddu, sheen, dal, even stronger, qaswa, in heart, like in hardness. So Allah mentions that the hearts can become like rocks or even harder than rocks. Now Allah will show us the three examples. Wa, and, inna, indeed, minal hijarati, hajimra, from the rocks, lama, are those, Yatafajjaru, fa jim ra, just like the fajr time, the dawn breaks. So something fajr and fasad and fasak, fisk, these are all something breaks or something opens. So fajr is like when split breaks, minhu from it, al anhar, the streams. So when the river is flowing and it breaks its way out, okay, even the glaciers. Secondly, second type, wa and inna, indeed, minha, in it, like among those rocks, lama are those, yashakkaku, sheen, qaf, qaf, which split. Shak means to split open. For then, yakhruju, kharajim, exits, comes out. Minhu, from it, alma'u, water. So even there are some rocks which will split open and some water will come out. Va, and the third type, and inna, indeed, minha, among them, among the rocks, lama are those, yahbitu, habatwa, fall down, min khashyatillahi, min from khashyati, khashinwa, from the fear, Allahi, Allah, from the fear of Allah. So even rocks which are known for being hard have these types that they will make way for water, or they will split open and have water, or they will just fall, slide because of Allah's hukum, Allah's command, Allah's fear. Wama, and not Allahu, Allah, bighafilin, ghain fa lam, ghafal, to not know or not be aware. Amma is made of two words, and ma. So from what? Ta'malun, ain mim lam, amal, from your amal, from your deeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends this ayat by saying that Allah is not unaware of what you are doing. Whatever you're doing, Allah is aware of that. It's just that Allah helps you, but when you keep doing the same thing over and over again, when you keep repeating your bad um, habits, then it just affects your heart so much that it will be difficult for you to recover from your it will lead to a bad fortune, it will lead to a bad hereafter, it will lead to a bad personality. So bad habits are easy to adapt and difficult to lose. However, whatever you make practice more, make it your lifestyle, will stay with you. It'll just like negative habits, it's also the same or at least similar with the positive habits. If you are used to fasting on and off, it'll be easier for you to fast even more frequently. If you are somebody who try to make it a habit to pray 5 times a day, then eventually it will become your lifestyle and it won't be so difficult for you to find a place and time, even if you're very busy, because you'll be mindful of what you have to do. It will be part of your life. So in the same way, we should be very careful about what are the habits that we choose, what are the things that we practice, what is our attitude, what is our lifestyle, because this will actually stay with our personality eventually. And if we just choose to use bad language, or if we used to say lies all the time, or if we are taking it not taking it seriously, that I lie here and there, I deceive people here and there, and I think that's just a smart way of living, and then it's going to hurt my personality. It's going to make my heart so hard that I won't even think about these things, that I use bad language, or I just laugh at others, or I just make fun of others, or I become angry so easily, and I don't have that kind of control. I won't even realize that I don't have those kind of controls. So let's read the next ayat 75. Now we will see that after mentioning the types of rocks and saying that I'm not unaware of your deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions to the Muslims along with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who were very hopeful that the Yahud will at least be cooperative in becoming Muslims. And this was not only the hope for the Muslims, for the new Muslims and Prophet Muhammad, but also the non-Muslims, the mushrik, were used to look up to the Yahud scholars, because they used to think, they are big scholars, so let's see their reaction if they take this message very happily, and they, let's see his reaction with the prophet, whoever is claiming to be the prophet. So when this, their reaction would confuse them, and this was deliberate because the Yahud did not want the many people to become Muslims. They were jealous, again, because of the lineage thing. Also, they were just stubborn to um, leave their lifestyle. They just were too attached to the material world. They didn't want that, oh, we should all figure about. So it was very difficult for them to, and in theory it seems like, oh my god, this was, the book was right in front of them, the prophet was right in front of them, the book is still right in front of us. But look at us. It's very difficult for us to leave our life and to say, no, okay, this is the book and I just have to abide by this. I just have to do everything that it says. So, coming back to 75, let's see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the people who are hopeful about these Yahud in the time of Prophet Muhammad. Are for, so tatmauna ta mim ain tama, hope. So do you all hope on that yu'minu, they will become, they will believe, hamza mim noon, lakum, upon you. So are you like really hopeful that they will actually bring iman on you, they will believe in you? Waqad, and indeed, kana, are, fariqun, faraqaf, there is a group, minhum, among them. So Allah tells them that there is a group among them over here in the brackets, telling you that Allah is talking about their scholars. Okay, among them there is a group, yasmauna, sin mim ain, they listen very intently, kalam Allahi, the word of Allah, they do listen to it. Umma, then yuharrifunahu, harafa, just like in Arabic we say harf or huruf, right? So they change. It means that they change either the words literally or the meaning of them. So they listen to Allah's words very carefully and then they change it. Min badi, after that. Ma, with aqaluhu, with the aqal, with their brains, by mindful thinking, after thinking about it. Wahum, and they, ya'lamun, they have the knowledge. Ain lam mim. It's not like they don't know what is truth and what is not. It's not like that they don't understand. They do it with their mind and knowledge, both. After listening, they say, does it fall in our support? Does it make things easy for us? Does it help us increase our following? What should we do? And this is like also, because if they would just follow everything, then they would have just even followed Islam, because their books were all pointing to the name of Prophet Muhammad as well, so much that they used to even name some of their kids Muhammad, thinking that the last prophet who's going to come is going to be named Muhammad. After that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions وَإِذَا, and when, laqul lazina, lam qafiya, which means meet those people, when they meet those people, amanu, those who have iman. So in this ayat, Allah is going to tell us that they are also kind of like hypocrites, because they also like have different kind of behavior when they meet the real Muslims and when they are among their own group of people. So amanu, so وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, so when they meet those people who have iman, qalu, they say amanna, they say that we believe, because they also, because they do believe, and also because they want to stay okay with all parties. Wa, and iza, when, khala, khalam, wow is the root, and when they're alone, khali, the Urdu word khali is also from there. Wa iza khala, and when they're alone, ba'duhum, some of them, ila, towards, ba'din, their others. So when they are among their own, qalu, they say, are tuhaddisunahum hadaltha, just like the word hadith also comes from there. Tuhaddisunahum, are you going to tell them the thing, the talk, the speech, bima, what, fatahallahu, fatah, open, Allahu, Allah, alaykum, upon you. Are you going to tell them what Allah has opened upon you? All those things include everything, all those signs that they already knew that Quran is going to come, they already knew the Prophet is going to come. Because if they would start telling people all this, then what will happen? More people will believe in Muhammad. Their high status in the society will not be the same. Them being well known will not be the same. They will have to leave their love of life. They will have to leave so much the style of living. They will have to change their lifestyle. So all this was not very acceptable to them. So this is how, this in a foolish way, they would like sit together and remind each other that, oh, don't go around telling people. Not even like they would not even tell their own followers, because remember that Torah was not like Quran, that it would be in the hands of all Muslims. Torah was supposed to be kept in synagogue, and only the scholars had access to it. And the people who would have any questions, they would have to come and check with their scholars. So they wanted to keep their following going. They wanted their authority and the control to stay just like it was. So telling people, and even telling their own, the Yahud, the normal Yahud people, that would ruin it, because then those people will, even some people would come to them and say, remember you used to tell us about that there's Allah's book is going to come. Isn't this person Muhammad? Doesn't he sound like that? So they tell each other, do not ever do this. Don't tell these people, the common people, what we know. Li, the because you jukum ha jim jim, they will do hujjat. They are going to bring this as an argument. Bihi, with them, inda, towards Rabbikum, your Rabb. So in the end, they are going to bring this as an argument that, Ya Allah, these Yahud knew that. They're the ones who told us that this is what you should wear, and this is how to cover the body. This is what is allowed and not allowed in our religion. This is what they knew that they could not go to these kind of mixed dance parties, and they could not eat pig, and they could not drink, and they were not supposed to be shameless or unfair or deceive anyone. So if you tell them just the commands like that, they're going to bring these as an argument towards God. Afala taqilun, this is what they would tell each other. Don't you have any brains? Don't you understand? Awala, do not they, ya'lamuna, ain lam mim, don't they have any knowledge? Don't they have the ilm? Annallaha, indeed Allah, ya'lamu, he has ilm, he has knowledge. Ain lam mim, ma, whatever, yusirruna, sin ra ra, would they hide, would they whisper, would they keep in hush hush? Wama, and whatever they yu'linun, they do the alan, they do it apparently, they do it in front of others. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them that don't they know that Allah knows everything? There is nothing that they can hide from Allah. Whatever they make apparent or they hide, it's all in front of Allah. They cannot hide anything. How can they just miss this important piece of knowledge? And then in ayat number 78, Allah talks about the people who were the common Yahud people, the normal people. Wa, and minhum, among them, ummiyuna, hamza mim mim, the ummiyun, people who don't have knowledge, the normal people, the common people. La ya'lamuna, they don't have ilm, ain lam mim, al kitaba, of the book. Many of us also don't have it. Illa, except amaniya. Amani is the desire to do things. So they just have desires. They just want the good things to happen to them. So those who do not have any knowledge, what do? Illa, they have amani, mim nun ya, which is just wishes, desires. They just want things, and then that's all that they care. That, okay, I want things to happen, and if I go to this scholar, he would say yes. I would go to this scholar, he would say no. So they just, and that's how the scholars would cater to their needs. And this is what we've become too. We just want a fatwa. Okay, is interest allowed? If one says no, we just make an argument and make questions in such a way that we would go to person to person to person scholar and find that somebody does approve of it, because it is like, and then we feel satisfied and we just want to get our wishes come true. And this is how we want to follow. Wa, and in they whom have illa nothing but yazunnun, they guess. They like guesses and traditions, and they just want to do things that, oh, they believe in traditions, superstitions, and guesses. They just want to live life without having to care that, okay, why don't I get to study the book of Allah? Why can't I read what Allah had to say? This is what the Muslims are becoming to, even if it's not ever tradition that the Quran should not be understood by normal people. We just don't seem to get that time because we are too busy living our lives, getting the fun here. We just are busy doing our studies or jobs or decorating things or vacationing or following our traditions, that okay, this is how weddings are done in our family, this is the nihas, this is the things that we do every year. Oh, my great parents used to do it. Oh, we just, you know, buy beautiful expensive things, and uh, this is how things are decorated, or this is how um, certain thing happens, any celebration, this is our tradition. Or we are busy doing superstitions that no, this should not be done, we should not use this number, should be no room, we should not live in a house in this area or this room, or certain things should not be done at this time. So look at us, and this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making us realize that this is all falling in that part where we make things our lifestyle, and soon we will not even realize, we will not be able to understand, the awareness switch will be blocked completely, because our hearts will be hardened by then. So open your eyes and see where we are. What are we supposed to do? When we read these stories of Yahud, we find them weird and funny. And that what kind of people were these? But we do the exact same thing.